Hello everyone, welcome to Avgjoewatchreviews, where we do more than just reviews. What you're looking at is a custom built Seiko Blackbay, which pays respectful homage to the original. Let me tell you, this is definitely a watch that you're not going to see elsewhere. There are other watches on eBay that you can see, but they're typically conversions from the Turtle. I have yet to see a watch that looks like this. This one definitely is more reminiscent of the original. It doesn't copy the original exactly, which is exactly what I did not want to do, but I wanted to definitely pay respectful homage. This piece actually has the Nh35 movement from Seiko, and it has the Seiko dial, and it is an aftermarket case, aftermarket crown, aftermarket hands, and of course an aftermarket bracelet. Now, one of the coolest features of this watch is indeed the loomed crown. And I'm going to give you guys a loom shot of this watch in a cutaway to show you how bright and stunning this loom is. Now, it has the typical Seiko Loom on the hands, the indices, and as you can see, the pip has a different color. It's a blue. It is blue, as you can see. So it has blue loom, and the crown has the traditional green loom. And it's just a really neat, yet it doesn't serve any type of function. It was just something that I was like, you know what? To make this watch even more unique, let's go with a loom crown. But it didn't stop there, because in the case back itself, I was offered the choice of what type of case back did I want. Did I want a solid case back, or did I want an exhibition case back? And anyone that knows me knows that of course I'm going to go with the exhibition case back. But not just any exhibition case back. I wanted the red tinted case back, and you could see that red tint right there, and it just makes the watch that much more different. I've never seen anything like that before. So that indeed is, and it also just shows off that beautiful Nh35 movement that you could see right there on the rotor. So a lot of you guys are asking, well, why did you go with an Nh35 movement on a watch that has no date function? And that is an excellent question that I will address very simply. The guy that built this watch, his Instagram is Case and Dial. I'm going to put that down below. Huge shout out to him for building this watch. It is indeed a stunner, and he did an excellent job building this at cost. So I want to give him a huge shout out and a thank you for building that for me. So he stated that if I wanted to, down the road, change the look of the watch, instead of changing the movement, he would just simply have to change the dial. And the dial could then have a date window, and therefore would have the date function. Now, when we change the time of the watch, this is indeed a screw down crown, and you can see that this watch does have some nice water resistance at 200 meters. It pops out to the first position. The first position is the winding position. There's actually two positions. The next position would be your ghost function, which would be the date wheel. Once the date once you can get another dial on there, you could actually have that. And then the second position is the hacking feature, and that's where you can adjust the time. All right, you put the crown back in completely. It springs back, and you can go back to winding it, and then hold it in and screw it down. The bezel itself is a maroon bezel. It is a dark red, and it is indeed engraved. All the minute markers, the numbers, everything here is engraved. nicely with white, and you can even see the triangle. The triangle is a little bit off, as you can see. It's not done perfectly. It's definitely off to the right. Does it align? The triangle itself aligns perfectly at the 12 o'clock position. So just the pip is a little bit off, but that doesn't bother me. I know that bothers a lot of folks, but that just does not even faze me. I actually just noticed that as we're looking at the watch close up. Watches to me are like a fine painting. You should never get really close to a painting. Me being an artist, I've always been under the notion that you need to stand at least 2 to 3 feet away to really enjoy a painting, because once you start getting up closer, that is the true person that doesn't really respect the art, and they need to be pushed back to a respectable distance. And I think watches can be the same way, especially when they're on your wrist and someone comes up and says, "Hey, nice watch." So that's just my little spiel there. As you can see, it's got the Seiko logo that is indeed applied. You've got automatic and the Divers 200 printed on the dial, and you've got applied indices, which have, as you saw, full loom. Beautiful snowflake hands with loom and outlined with stainless steel, including the second hand as well. Now we go back to the bezel. We can take a listen. It's got that typical Seiko spongy feel, but it is indeed not bad at all. Little bit of backplay there, as you can see, depending on where you are though. But yeah, there's definitely, it's your typical Seiko backplay. There's, you know, but it has a nice tight feel though to turning the bezel, and it feels very nice. Now the black dial is a matte finish, and there is some AR coating to the sapphire crystal, and as you can see, it is a boxed crystal, and it does have a slight curve to the crystal. It's slightly domed. Here is the profile of the watch, and as you can see, this case is a CT case, and I even have the polishing cloth for that. And it's a kit case that you can buy to fit Seiko movements and to build your own custom Seiko watches. Now, the bracelet I put on here is from Strapsco, and it is the Beads of Rice bracelet. I decided to put this bracelet on the watch because I thought it just really made this watch pop even more. And I'm going to put it on the wrist to show you guys what the watch looks like on the wrist. I have a 7-inch wrist. Guys, pardon the hands. I'm actually in the middle of painting, and I'm going to get right back to painting when I'm done, so I apologize for that. But here it is on a 7-inch wrist, and as you can see, the watch fits absolutely perfectly. I like the fit of the watch, and just to give you guys some perspective, we're going to do some measurements of the piece. So we're looking at case size is indeed a 42. Great size for a diver. This crown does protrude out pretty good. So at the crown, we're looking at a 46 millimeter. No crown guards on the watch, by the way, which doesn't bother me. I actually have absolutely no issue with that whatsoever, but some people may. The width of the watch itself is a 16, and we're going to look at the lug to lug, and we're going to get a measurement of 46 millimeters. Now the lugs themselves, I know this is a 22, you can see that right there, and the Strapsco bracelet does indeed taper to right around a 20. It is a milled clasp, It does have a safety clasp along with it, with the two buttons to deploy it. It is polished all the way around. There is no brushing on the piece. It is just your typical Seiko. Actually, I'm sorry. I am wrong on that. Actually, let me take that back. So if we take a look, there's actually some horizontal brushing on the lugs. That's actually done very nicely. You're actually not going to see that kind of brushing on a typical Seiko case. You've got the polish on the sides. Okay. And you also have the drilled lugs, which I like that a lot, so that you can stick your tool in there and release the bracelet very, very easily just by sticking it in there, and it'll pop right off. There you go, guys. And just one more thing, as you can see, the inner minute tracker, actually basically the inner case here, you could see it's all stainless steel, just like what you would see in a Blackbay. Typically a watch will have a step up, like a chapter ring there of some sort, but definitely not here. Definitely more reminiscent of an actual Tudor Blackbay. And it actually does provide a pretty cool effect. You could see the applied markers in the reflection, and I think it's a cool touch. So it's a cool watch, guys. Definitely a one of a kind. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and please remember that there's always time to be kind to one another. Please take care of each other, and I'll see you guys next time on Average Joe Watch Reviews. God bless, my friends.